request Srishkumar ji to give an introduction to the topic again and remind the people who are attended earlier and introduce the requirement of the for the necessity for this seminar and what we should learn and how the meeting to be conducted on these issues. He will discuss. Srishkumar ji for few minutes.
No, namaskaram to everybody. I don't think I have anything to add.
Just please repeat so that people will remind that.
No, after last week we had a discussion. I was talking to Srinivas also. I don't think not even 10% or 20% would have been understood by most of the people. I personally, it's my true personal opinion. Such lectures will be fabulous to listen and say India is great, Bharat is great, Srinivas is having good knowledge. How much the residual knowledge is captured by the people after say 1 week? That will be a big question. And how many people get ignited to do some research? That will be understood what happened after 1 week of gap, how much they have read extra. Otherwise, these weekly will be like a normal seminar in any academic institution. If you are conducting examination, people will learn, otherwise they will not even interested to understand. That's what generally my experience is. So I was feeling whatever happened last week, if anybody has got any clarification questions, if that is not reviewed and then considered to answer, yeah, Vedabharati can say we conducted a seminar by Srinivas, and Srinivas can say we have given a lecture in Vedabharati. I don't think Srinivas takes that as a great credit in his biodata to fill that I gave 4 lectures in Vedabharati. Those days have gone, I think. So because how much you understood, what is that? No, okay, this much I have taken you through the ladder. There is a saying, even a blind man or in the dark, if somebody is taken to the first step of the ladder, next steps nobody need a hand to lead them. They will climb themselves. I think Srinivas ji has already given. There is a beautiful Sanskrit sloka which is not coming to me, which says, even somebody is blind or if it is totally dark, you take them on the first step of the ladder, second step, no hands are required. Automatically you can climb. So I think the first lecture was so thought-provoking. It was very good. I can get into the frequency of Srinivas not because of 1 hour lecture or 1 day lecture or 2 hours lecture. We have been traveling, discussing together. So I was mentioning Srinivas after the discussion. Babuji was also there. So I feel there has to be a discussion on what has happened. Some question, some answer, because last time there was no questions possible. So what will happen? Let us see how much questions are focused or close to the topic which Srini spoke. That will tell, did they come along with the people? That is what. So I don't think I gave an introduction. The second part, what you said, how to conduct, because you asked me a comment, I thought this is what I wanted to tell.
Very nice. Yeah. That's what I expected. I also I agree with this with your comments, and definitely last time also I mentioned this point that our people are not that mature enough to have a good discussions and good understanding. Just like Purana laga vinesi, everybody got accustomed to that type of things. And but this group should be a different group because they have got a lot of historians also there in the group, and must be having some knowledge on the subtopic already, and they should be able to interfere, and then they should be able to question these things. That's what I expect. Some historians are also there in the group. Some senior people are also there in the group. So probably they should take interest and then continue the discussion, make others understand what the actual topic is, and how to go about and what is to be done and how should we proceed in future. That is what the intention of this VSS DrTPS also, so that the people will understand and proceed further and take the metal future. That is the idea. And Srinivas has given an excellent topic. Now I request him, whenever he starts the topic, first do the discussion part of it, and in case people give the questions, etc., that's fine. Otherwise, I expect just like Upanishadullo చెప్పినట్టుగా, just like Upanishads, a Shishya and Guru type of discussion between Shalini ji and Srinivas may help for few minutes. That's what I am thinking. That's why it will be better, I hope. Let us see, let Shalini put the questions and Srinivas answer the questions. And Shalini also knows the topic and Srinivas also knows the topic. If they have a question answer session, that may be useful to everybody else, and we will be educating the people if the people are not up to the mark. That's what my request. And not that I am discouraging the people to put questions. People should put questions and should interfere into the involve in this discussion and make the program as a good success and useful and practical. So now with request, I request Shalini ji to give a brief introduction of past topic and present topic, please. Shalini ji.
Sir, my thought is questionnaire can be at the end of the lecture, sir. That could be a better way of understanding the theme and issues also, sir.
That is correct. That is as far as the second part is concerned. First part is already done. On that, first discussion will be there.
Yes, sir.
So that the people understand what is the first part.
Yes, sir.
So Shalini ji, please, can you please start, please? Shalini ji, are you there in the line? Are you? Shalini ji.
Yeah.
Yeah, please start your. Yeah.
Sarvebhyo Namaha. I don't think I have to give too much of an introduction about Sri this time, because we have already introduced him in the previous session. But however, if there are any newcomers, I would just like to share a few, like in a line or two, and then introduce or brief of the current session. We are actually heading towards another exciting session from Shri, which is organized by Veda Samskriti Samiti. It will be the second part of the lecture series. Am I audible to you all?
Yeah, sure. We are here.
Yeah.
Madam, can you summarize the last week this one? And
Yeah,
then,
I'm doing that. Yes, I'm doing that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Srinivas Kidambi, as we all know, is often called as Shri. He holds 2 degrees, 2 MBAs, one from India and one from America, and currently he resides in Canada. Although his qualification and his profession and his passion are opposite to each other, he has been balancing both of them to satisfy the stomach, and the other is to satisfy his heart. He is usually recognized for his unique or extraordinarily analyzing skills. I would just like to share one situation that came in his life. In a closed meeting with a few retired Navy officers and a few others, an officer came up to Shri and just asked him if he could allow him to subject Shri to a process whereby they could analyze his brain to study how it comes to certain conclusions, an extraordinary way of analyzing. And this was quite, of course, a funny and a very special kind of a moment for him. And another factor which always surprises all of us and inspires all of us is his dedication towards Bharatavarsha. Whatever may come up, any ups and downs, he never allowed his passion towards the country, his dedication towards the country died. This is a short intro, and with this, I would just move on to briefing up the current session with a short recap of the previous session. So that it will be enabling the people, any newcomers today or those who participated in the previous session, just to connect to the subject matter. In the previous session, Srinivas Prasad introduced us to a few interesting and actually very less known facts of the history. He mentioned how the character of Jesus was created by the Flavian dynasty for military victory as a peaceful messiah to conquer and occupy lands and surrendering of people. This peaceful messiah was later converted into a warrior messiah by Constantine and Justinian, who declared Jesus as a state god. They then decided to suppress every other form of spiritual belief and spiritual freedom across the world. This led to regrouping of multi-ethnic or spiritual groups in the land of Syria, or normally called as Syria, which further led to a second revolt against the oppressive Justinian and his brand of religion in the 7th century. This would be a short brief of the previous session, what main points which we dealt in the previous session. In the current session, he will be explaining how Parthians created another warrior messiah in the image of Christ and called him Muhammad. To stop the tide of Justinian warrior messiah with an intention of countering the previous messiah versions. In the process, they used some methodology, just like the Flavians, to create Jesus. But unfortunately, these two forces, rather than cancelling each other, devoured every civilization and culture across the world. And now they're knocking our doors, both from inside as well as outside. He shall also be throwing some light on how this resulted in cognitive dysfunction and intellectual dissonance, both in time and space, making us unable to either comprehend or provide solution to any aspect of life, from history to education to health. I think today's session will begin with a short question and answer session, and then would come up and the lecture would continue. So I would request Srinivas Pidambi to take over and just enlighten us with his research work. Thank you. Hello.
Thank you for your excellent lecture, excellent introduction of the past topic and the present topic also. And I request you to be ready with a question answer session with Srinivas if nobody is responding or coming forward with questions, so that we will have a Upanishad style of meeting by which a Guru Shishya Samvada will be there, like that. So I request you to be ready with that, and I will also be try to be ready for that. So please, with this, I request Srinivas ji to start with the second topic, start with the lecture, today's lecture. Before going to the actual topic of second topic, I request Srinivas ji to give a small brief of the yesterday last topic and give an opportunity for questions from others. And have a discussion for 15 minutes. Then we will go to the second topic. That's what my request. So now Srinivas ji, please start.
Srini,
Yeah.
if some youngster like who is looking for a job for his life, he is not so patriotic, he doesn't bother what the nation wants and all that, but he happens to listen to your last week's lecture and find some interesting pockets of research, but then we have to create an objective and scope for him. Yeah, this is your objective for which you have to study this. And assume you study this, this is what you are going to get. A clear objective and scope. How do you put that? So that gives a synopsis of what happened last week for some people who did not had that opportunity to listen to you. Number one. Number two, that also defines the objective and scope of the seminar. Third one, that will be what leads most of the people to become so immersed or attended to this. unfortunately, I couldn't had a connection last week. But then what I did was, I left I couldn't, from part by part, wherever possible, I kept recording, listening to that many number of times. Even today, I am keeping a recorder here beside. Srini knows that this I keep doing it. So, what I do is, I was listening many times. Will you be able to, with the lost pieces, I lost some time. With the last pieces, I couldn't connect. So maybe the objective and scope will tell this is what it is. That is also fine.
Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha, Shri Saraswati Namaha. The question that Dr. Shashkumar asked is the same question that we were asking for last 20-30 years. And that's what we are trying to see, that how to connect this, because as he said, if somebody picks up a research topic as interested, say for example it could be astronomy or the great year or historical research or numismatics, first of all we need to find out a place or a program, whether it is a governmental, non-governmental, to help them. Otherwise we should be able to provide a kind of a research fellowship, what in general Western universities will do to do research on highly probably unrequired topics also. They will be funding it, but there is a basic problem with us, that is we are still trying to figure out how this should be taken forward. And one of our objectives in that one was to create an Apex Institute where you could vacuum all the knowledge sources or knowledge fields into one and provide one source of information for the people to come and learn and do research. But then the question is how we are going to fund it and how we are going to take it. So probably when we complete this kind of a series of lectures, something will come out, and I think that will be the thing that I will say for the Dr. Shishkumar question. We are trying it for last 20-30 years, the same thing. Even today we are doing the same thing, right?
Yeah, the situation is different now. The situation is different. 30 years the situation is different. The present situation is different. Now people are also interested to learn and understand what is happening. The problem why they are not discussing, because they are not having sufficient basic knowledge, most of the people, barring some seniors. So that's why they are not interfering and discussing this, which is our duty now, to make them educated and make them question and answer them. We have to do the both now. We have to do this and that also. Please try to do that kindly. As Shashkumar told, that is what we should do now, and we should make them understand and then start the discussion of these issues. And then let us go first for a few minutes, or say 5 minutes or so, to explain what you have told last time. And next 10 minutes will be a question answer session on the last meeting. If anybody is interested, or with Shalini ji or myself, we'll discuss that for 15 minutes. Then we'll go for second session.
Yeah, sure. Can we share the PowerPoint starting up? We'll bring it to the second slide. So basically what we have, the last session is an introductory session that we started to look at where did the actual problem occur, and both in terms of historical reporting and others, because we have, at least we are coming to a fair amount of conclusion that probably the Mahabharata war must have happened 3157 BC, give or take 20-30 years. That's what in general consensus, and few say that it may not be, and the Westerners say it never happened. So there are various approaches that goes like, so this goes to the heart of the historical writing, and how the history is taught or the cultures are studied. So that's what we try to understand. And I wanted to tell everybody before that I don't even say believe. I feel it's a matter of a fact and statement of truth that Mahabharata war happened. It is as truthful as I am breathing in and breathing out. So the war did happen, but the question is where it happened, when it happened, and how it happened. There are so many issues that needs to be solved in that particular issue. 3157 is one set of astronomical data is used, which is within the purview of the great year. That's what we. That's a concept. Great year is a 21,000 to 29,000. 26,500 year precession cycle